Morning, everyone. I have a mic and I have a clicker. Have to figure out which is which. Uh, I'll go quickly and thank very much Launchpad City and 1 Million Cup, the Frisco chapter. This is great for the community. Much appreciated. I'm going to start by going for a quick introduction. My name is Mark Makari. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Logic Keepers. We are a software development company. We focus on emerging technologies and open source. We use it to build custom solutions. We are a partner with Lightbend. It's a company specialized in reactive architecture and programming. Basically, they fuel the multi-user web applications economy. And one thing that I would like to point out in there that we do all the development here in the US. We don't have any offshore outsourcing. And we do this by focusing on the local talent, and we invest in them. We work with development programs like Dev Mountain, and we hire from those programs too. Just show you that we don't just use the technology, we also collaborate, and we join in and build solution guides and do things like that. So that's the important stuff, the multi-user web applications. There's a lot of applications like that out there that we are much used to it. We use it every day, like working with shopping online or social collaboration, Amazon, LinkedIn, Uber, all this good stuff. This is actually a very good space for custom solutions. You'll be surprised that it goes for the enterprise, goes for the middle, and it goes for the small, for the SMB. And one of the things that actually you need to ask in that space when you build custom solution is who owns the data. This is a very important driver in there, because you can actually go with any of the generic social collaboration and they actually own your data, own your analytics, own all this stuff. The other thing that I would like to point out in there is a freelance economy. This is really a booming thing. We have very talented people out there, independent. They would like to reach out to customers and users through digital channels. And they don't have the means to do this right now, and we would like to help them on that front. So having said that, what's really involved in building multi-user web applications? So there is two set of features if you talk to someone in the IT world that we'll talk to you about to be able to build the foundation for such thing. The first one is really technical, so things that you put in there like security, high availability, response time is very important. Being on the scalable side, you can just really build it for 100 users. When it goes to 101, it crashes, as it sometimes happens. Mobile ready, so this is not a luxury anymore. If you don't do it cloud ready, then you're missing on all the good cloud features. API integration, so you have software out there that where you really need to integrate with. Google Maps, of course, is something very important in there, and payments and such. The business features or functions that we have in there, that it's a multi-user application, so you have to have user registration, user profile management, and you would have to have permissioning and access control, all those good important things that we have in there. Something also very important there is analytics and reporting. This is know your customer. This is now really a cornerstone of all the applications. So we have all those good features in there that actually those bulk of feature represent somehow a problem. The problem really on the time and cost. So think about it even on the enterprise side. You want to build something, you want to add business feature, you want to do this very quickly. You don't want to incur all the costs for R&D, making technical decisions, add all those foundation features before you really start with your adding your business functions and your workflows. So it represents a time and cost problem, and it's a hard problem because it's a showstopper and sometimes really kill innovation. So how to solve this problem? So Logic Keepers came up with a simple solution in there. What we did, we created the foundation for all those basic features, the technical and the business that we talked about it before. And we license this to our customers for free. We only charge them for the added business functions and the production support. And this way, we actually solved the cost problem, and we solved the time problem also. We also built like a demo on top of that, Service Club IO. Just this is a basic. You can think about it as a personal CRM for small business prototype or product, and we use it to highlight all the business functions that we have in there. And that brings me to the conclusion of the presentation.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, so I think one of the things I talked to Mark earlier, and one of the keys to his business, and I think we can grow on that, is everything is locally grown and not done offshore. So I think it's a really big, important part that he's working through the community and growing that way. So I'll open up for questions, and I think what we need to do is have the microphone when you ask the question. We are live stream, so the only way your question gets heard is if you're on the mic. And hold on to the mic until you're done with your question and have it answered. And I will pick up the mic and take it to somebody else. So.
Thank you. Good morning. So I have a question about the framework that you have said that the framework is developed for free, and then the additional business functions and other thing is on the charge basis and the maintenance. Could you elaborate a little bit more? What is in that framework? So let's say I have a application, a web-based application that needs multi-user interaction, and it has a database. So what do you deliver as part of that framework?
So this framework has technical aspects and business aspects. We actually can run an extensive demo on what's included in there, but what's really included is, I guess, two important aspects in there. That you don't want to end up with a framework not an enterprise grade because of the cost. You don't want to compromise on that. So all the aspects that we talked about in the first couple of slides in terms of this security, high availability, scalability, and all the business functions that, so for instance, that on the security side, we have to tackle important problems like session hijacking, SQL injection, all those good stuff that which we can talk about it on the side. All this has to be built into the framework before you start. Otherwise, you will end up with a house of cards. The other aspect that also that we need to focus about who owns the data. So in our solution, the customer or the consumer owns the data. And the data is actually in a very common format. You can port it from the Postgres, which is a very common database schema that we have in there, except for the stuff that we encrypt. And you can just easily export it and import it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning. You said that you developed talent, and you didn't kind of go into how you do that. And since it's all, onshore, can you please talk about where you look for talent and how you all do that?
Absolutely. It's a very good question. So actually, at the beginning, I mentioned that in there we have a local relationship, like Dev Mountain, for instance, the development boot camps. And what we do, when we hire them out of the program, sometimes they are not really very much immersed into how you would create, I would say, a production-grade code. And this is important for us in terms of the code quality. So we train them first in a program where they go through steps. And we have mentoring in there where we go through a certain process till they get to the point that where they can produce a production code.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have any tomatoes or bananas to throw you at, if at all you're expecting. But thank you for the very nice presentation. I'm wondering, who is your solution not for? So who is your target audience, not in your target audience?
So this is actually a very good question that we run through this exercise when we engage our customers. If we find out that our customers can have an off-shelf solution, they're really going to spend money unnecessarily on custom solution. They don't care about owning the data or anything of that sort. We advise them ethically and honestly that there's an off-shelf you can use instead of building a custom solution.
So question I have is there an assigned rep for, account rep for each client you have? How do they go about for support?
So I guess it's also another good question. We have our the major account manager in here on site today. If you can talk to her after, if you would like to talk to her after, it would be great. Be more than happy to do that. Thank you.
For someone like me who would have to hire somebody to do this because of my lack of expertise in this area, can you talk me through, or do you have samples or anything to show? It was great that you had the features, but considering you're a development company, it would be nice to see some samples of what it looks like with an interface.
Yeah, and that's when we run the demo. Was the interface and the business use cases. So please get in touch with our account manager. We'll run the demo for you.
Okay.
Back to the tomatoes and eggs.
So after you provide those platform, if customer wants to customize the application, do you provide a service that target the special customer, or you would just ask customer themselves to do that?
Absolutely. We provide the service to build on top of it. And again, if you'd like to migrate for whatever reasons, we allow you to do that too.
Any other questions?
What has been your biggest obstacle so far?
So I guess let me start by saying Frisco, Dallas in general is a great place to be because of the talent pool. That was a challenge in the past that we have that in here. Business community is great, as you all can see. Really very good to be here. But I guess we need to do more on the local talent development. We need to do more in using local software development company, because I find that unfortunately sometimes that the people first option is to go and look for offshore outsourcing. Well, this is really tough. And there's also the wrong assumption in there that we cannot compete on the cost. No, we can compete on the cost. We can do very well on that, plus the quality and the time zone. So, which is a non-issue for everyone. So the biggest challenge really in there that is people always assume presence in there that we are not compete on that front, and they go for offshore first, which is not a good thing.
And then the last question, what can we do for you? What are we looking for that we can help you with today?
Spread the word. I guess spread the word and encourage us and encourage the young talents that we have. This is very important within the community. Actually, I also noticed that a lot of focus in here on the software development on the esports, which is very important, very good. But also there's other aspects in there. So there's other software development companies in there that they are not in Silicon Valley for good reason, like us, because we like it here very much. Spread the word about us, encourage us. That's very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.